Happy Hump Day, guys. If I want to be honest, I did not feel like coming on today. Yeah, I didn't set my alarm. I said, God, if you want me to get up and do this in the morning, then just wake me up. I did get prepared and everything, but very discouraged. And I don't like showing my face when I'm discouraged because when I'm at a low frequency, it's not good for anybody. So I heard a knock at my main door this morning, and I usually wake up at 6 o'clock. But today, but usually I was waking up at 6 o'clock. That was the time I had set for this. But then, so since I was seeing that I was late all the time, I was just like, let me start getting up at 5:30, make sure I'm on time, and so that's what I did. So, um, being on time did not mean that things was going to go smoothly. It just meant that I was doing my part. And this morning I woke up at 6:30 because I heard a knock at my door that I know only could be my son. So I didn't know what time it was. I just got up and fixed my clothes on myself, and I'm like, my nightgown. I'm like, come in. I'm like, come in. Then I looked at the time. I'm like, oh, I must have been dreaming. Then I'm like, oh, it's 6:30. Then I'm like, oh, I asked God to wake me up if He wanted me to come on today. I've been praying for the past few nights, and I'm like, Lord, what is this? What do you want me to do here? Because I don't know you're in the business of a humiliation ritual. I don't think that's you in the business of doing that. Um, you know, um, I've given a lot of my life to doing what you tell me to do, and I um I need to know what am I doing. And so I've been praying about it, and this morning I heard love, and I'm like, okay. Then so he told me to slow down, and yesterday my ad stopped going off, which has been something that's been pretty aggravating for me because I feel like it's not one ad. Sometimes it'd be up to four ads. Sometimes it'd be up to 20 seconds. And um, it's just unprofessional. It just looked very childish. And I'm just not that kind of person. And I'm just sick of being the one to misrepresent myself. It's one thing for people to be lying on me, it's another thing to be misrepresenting myself. And I'm like, I just refuse to believe that this is God doing this to me. I've always been very punctual. I've always been very in control of what I present. And I don't mind surrendering control. I know that there is a lot to be said about being humble and doing that. But if somebody's going to be in the driver's seat, then let them be in control. Don't I don't want it to be steering off the road. Show me that, you're going to, you know, be in control, that we're not about to have a wreck here. Of course, this isn't how I'm talking to God, but I'm talking to you about my thoughts as they're coming to me, as to sort of let out my frustration. And so the Lord told me that in 2024 He had me on the right path. But He's told me several times that I have a ministry and that my ministry was in speaking the word, that I have an actual ministry inside of me. And so he told me to do the embrace the newness. He told me to do the research, and I'm going to do research if I'm going to talk about any kind of subject. He knows I'm going to do research on the subject. So that's a given. And I've learned a lot during my research. But it has nothing to do with the Bible. But I've learned a lot about cars and about camping out in cars and about people moving abroad and starting over, starting new, starting fresh. I've learned about all that stuff. And I've learned a lot more about people that I would never have known. And I've just gotten to a dead end here. I'm like, okay, now what's the next subject? Well, now what? And so now I can do what I promised him. What did I promise you? That I would give my life for the one he saved. Okay, that's what I've been trying to do. But now it's time to do what he told me to do. And he told me in 2024, he told me, I said it over and over, two, that I have a ministry. And so every day I have, every day I have one of these Bible texts come up in my phone. And every morning about 6:45, it goes off to sort of set my day. And it's just a simple Bible verse, but it sort of helps me stay on track to say that I read a verse for the day, whether no matter what, I read a verse for the day. So when it went off today, it was Psalms. I'm gonna go to the exact one it was, but then I had marked off the other ones. But the one it was Psalms 27:14. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Now I'm like, okay, wait on the Lord. Okay, so don't do this now. So as I was listening closer, I was thinking about yesterday. I was watching this guy for no particular reason. It just said at the top of his caption, it just said, I'm getting a puppy. And I wanted to see the puppy. I've been missing my sister because I haven't talked to my mom. So I've been missing my sister. And I've been really looking at puppies. And so I saw the puppy. I couldn't wait to see the puppy, but he went the whole thing where he was getting prepared for the puppy. He was, father said that he had knew somebody who was just had a litter of puppies. But anyway, he had went to Walmart and beds cost too much, so he actually sewed the bed together out of all this fabric and stuff. But he did get him some food, and then he wound up coming back on the screen saying, "Well, I got this food for him." This is not the kind of guy I would watch because she's only like 27, 28 years old. All different kind of color hair, black guy, and I was just waiting to see the puppy. I could have fast forwarded, but I'm like, "Oh, that's nice. He's taking his time. He's actually thinking of a name the whole episode. Y'all dropped a name in the comments, and then I saw him. He's like, he hates shopping. He went to Walmart and he's looking through the pet section. He got the kind of bowls he liked. He only had a bedroom. I thought only had a bedroom, but it wound up in his place. But he only had a bedroom for the dog to be in. So at the end of the episode, you see the dog. I'm like, oh my God, the dog is so cute. He's like, my brother wound up naming the dog, and the dog's name is Spain, something like that. And but the dog was like, it's been his dog the whole time because the dog just kept on licking on him. And I'm like, how do the dog know? I mean, like, the dog know him. And Zane, that's what his name's, Zane. And he's like so comfortable with the dog. He's like, yeah, Zane is over there in his bed, dog laying on the bed that he made for him and everything. He went downstairs to do the dishes. I'm thinking the dog gonna be running around. Nope, the dog is upstairs in his room on the bed. He had to go to work. The dog upstairs in the room on the bed. He wanted to pressure wash the car. He let the dog out. And then so he's teaching the dog how to be around him without needing him, without needing to be up under him, but come when he calls. And so the dog is getting now trained to sit. He's like, I'm gonna show y'all the next time I come on, I'll be leaving work. I'm gonna show y'all before I put Zane to sleep. I'm gonna show y'all how I'm gonna teach him how to sit. I'm like, this should be interesting. Yeah. I'm like, this should be interesting. And so he's like, he have his bowl of food there, and he has to top up the lid, and he's like, you can't hear him audibly. He's just showing the picture of him doing it. So he takes the lid like he's gonna spank him if he don't do it. He's like, sit, and you can see it sort of fast motion. It's like sit, sit, and then so the dog he's ready to go get his food, and he's like, sit, sit. He's like, he moved the bowl back, sit, sit. So finally, you sit. He's like, stay, stay, stay. So finally, the dog is staying. It's like good dog, and then he goes eat. And as I'm getting ready, this was going through my mind. The the dog, the him and the dog. This picture, I was really waiting for different stuff to come on to show me new carbios. But I know you got to look down the algorithm in order for them to show you uh stuff that's not coming up for everybody. So I'm letting it go from next to next to next. But I just let him stay on because I wanted to see the dog. So as I'm getting ready, which I'm halfway getting ready today, as y'all see, I ain't hardly got no makeup on. I had my hair up in a ponytail. I just took it down at the last minute. And I was just halfway getting ready today. I just did not feel like coming on today. And I'm like, how am I gonna go on? When I not in a when my energy's not up, when my frequency is not up, it's so on my face. You could tell so much. And I cannot be fake. It's so hard. It's so hard. I cannot be fake and act like I'm up if I'm not. And I'm like, so how am I gonna do this? So he told me come on anyway. So this is me when I'm not high frequency. I'm just chilling. I'm just sort of letting y'all know what was going through my mind today. So as it's going through my mind, I thought about this. Wait on the Lord. I'm like, but I've been waiting. I've been doing everything he's been telling me to do. I've been doing everything he's been telling me to do. I've been listening, I've been waiting, I've been praying, I've been waiting, I've been fasting, I've been waiting, I've been meditating, I've been waiting. That's all I've been doing is waiting on the Lord and doing my housely duties, my motherly duties. That's all. That's all I've been doing. And so then as I read on, I'm like, it said, be of good cheer. And what one thing took me to this whole thing. This here 4 verses. Psalms. These are Psalm of David. So Psalms 31 and 20 through 24. Thou shalt hide them in the secret of thy presence from the pride of man. Thou shalt keep them secretly in a pavilion from the strife of tongues. Blessed be the Lord, for he hath shewed me his marvelous kindness in a strong city. So when I hear that, I think of my enemies, or the people who have made themselves my enemies. This went off yesterday. The people who have made themselves my enemies. And I think of, I told you guys that the Lord even hid me from myself. I didn't know nothing about none of this. I knew there was something going on, the spiritual warfare, but I didn't know about spiritual warfare, and I didn't know people was out to get me. I didn't know none of that. I thought everybody liked me. I thought everybody liked me because I liked everybody, and I didn't have no reason for them to not like me. And I hadn't heard of the armor of God, and if I had heard of it, it was something that didn't click to me. It wasn't taught like that to me. So to be hid in somebody's home, that's one thing. Maybe somebody would be suspicious about them coming and going and bringing different things in and out that they wasn't before. Maybe they could, um, like I told you guys, when I stayed downtown, I had found out somebody was going through my trash, and maybe they could see in somebody's trash that they have stuff that don't belong to a man. That's just only a man stand there or whatever. It's a lot of ways you can find out if somebody is staying with somebody that they're trying to hide. But I remember seeing this picture where this guy, he won the lottery and he wanted to be anonymous, but some kind of way it got out in his city. But this city was a close knit, small community, and they didn't want outsiders coming in anyway. So when it had got out what store the ticket was bought at, they wind up sort of protecting the guy, um, as well. This was a really known, really white light guy until like 10 years had passed. And then he finally came out. Then he's like, yeah, I have great neighbors. I have great friends. There was people had their own money. Nobody was, trying to get nothing out of them. They was just protecting them and they city. But for it to be hit in a strong city, it's like more than uh, one or two people that is high standing citizens that you can go on their word. You wouldn't have to ask them because if they see something, they're going to come to the forefront. Uh, a strong city would be people who have over the years become close. It's not even just a block, it's a whole city. And so to be hid in a strong city, I'm thinking like that is like be hid in the close to God. That's how I feel like I would see it, close to God. And so he hid, it says, thou shalt hide them in the secret of thy presence from the pride of man, from what they feel that I have done wrong to them because of some secret, um, something they did against me that didn't work, or something they feel about me that has something to do with God, or the battle, spiritual battle. It's about pride. And it has nothing to do with me. It has something to do with spiritual. And for I said in my haste, I am cut off from before thine eyes. Nevertheless, thou heardest the voice of my supplications when I cried unto thee. Like you're keeping me and you can hear my cry. And my cry has been, what what do you want me to do? My cry has been, how can I keep giving myself, which I surrender, but what am I doing? I'm confused. I'm confused. And God is not a God of confusion. And then he said, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. And ye, all ye that hope in the Lord. So I have hope and I have faith in the Lord. And now, here it is, thou, where he says, wait on the Lord. He's teaching me, as I just heard this as I was just now talking, that he's teaching me how to be patient and how to learn things that will benefit my future while I'm being patient, and not to keep my eyes on what the numbers are, who's seeing what, or embarrassment, but to keep my eyes on him because he's building me up. So this is what is coming to me as I'm talking now. Okay, so now I get it. I get that part. So as he builds us up sometimes, even in me doing these, I really don't like coming on a low frequency because I cannot act like I'm not. And I just feel like I'm just dragging people along in my. Okay, so um I can't be fake, but I feel better. I do feel better. So as I was doing research, and I had saw where I just came across a lady who moved her 12-year-old, and she didn't say it, but because I'm not showing them today and I'm not going to show them, I could tell that he was autistic as he was talking and stuff. I could tell because I could tell because my son's autistic, and I could tell he's on the spectrum, I should say. And he's so sweet and so well spoken, and just such a, you can just tell because he's like, he was just like really, really understanding stuff beyond his years, and he was just really intuitive, but he didn't have much to say, but he was intentional with what he had said. And he's just so sweet. You just want to hug him because he was just so sweet. And but I saw a lady, she had moved to Thailand. She said she wanted to give her son a good uh, childhood, from what has been shown to me, that the American dream is now the dream. The dream where you can find it. It's not in no one particular place anymore. It's not in just a house. It's not in just America. It's not in just a certain nationality. All that stuff is dead and gone. Now it's all about everybody's one particular path and what makes them comfortable. That is the dream. There is no other set dream. Your dream is, I mean, the American dream, the picket fence, the one one paycheck pay for the whole household, save up for college and all that. That's dead. We're in a whole new world. The same morals that we grew up on in my generation, those is dead. You are living in a world that no longer exists if you think they're still alive. And watching all of this stuff has really shown me that, you know, you make your dream. You make what is a dream to you. You create what feels good to you. You're not shooting for what has been poster model over the years, because may as well, it may very well not even be in America, let alone the American dream. So many people moving abroad. There's so many people trying to not get no picket fence, not stay in no neighborhood, but be able to travel, making their vans and camper into campers. They don't even want the regular RV. That's not even a dream to them. They don't even want something that you can pull nothing with, because they don't want nobody asking them to pull nothing. So your dream is me. So the dream is your dream. And in watching this year lady yesterday about with her 12-year-old son about how she wanted to uh, move abroad to get out the rat race and everything. But once she got abroad, she wound up starting to go into stuff online. And I noticed once people get abroad, they wind up doing something that they can still generate American dollars. So they find a way to do it online. So really when they move abroad, it's not because of the rat race. It's really to find comfort, and so that they can pursue what they want. So they can find comfort in, like, not having to be watched so closely by the people they've grown up around or whatever. They feel a certain freedom. Like I said, a lot of people meet themselves for the first time because they're not dependent on nobody. They don't have nobody in their reach that they can depend on. They have to depend on themselves even to make friends. It's not like making friends online. You got to really go out your way to make a friend when you are abroad. You got to really go out your way to connect to people when you become a part of the car van life community. You can't do that alone. You cannot be in the car community and not ask no questions, not find out stuff by other people in the community. If everybody in the whole community don't like you and you're not talking to nobody, it's a very miserable experience. And the same with living abroad. If you don't have nobody you can ask, well, where can you can't go online and be like, you can say, where are all the 5-star restaurants? Where are all the 5-star this and that? But you don't get the inside look of, where do people go on, this day? Where do people go for their food? Where do the locals do this? What's the best time to get out and see some scenery? Where's the best, the inside look is where it's really at. And we can't live in this world alone in the first place, especially if you come outside of your comfort zone. That's why I be feeling like people meet themselves for the first time, because they actually have to come outside their comfort zone, and they find out how they do things when they're not dependent on what they've always known. They live in the moment when they're not really just going according to what they've seen somebody else do, them knowing the landscape. If a rat stays in a maze, and I say a rat because that's what they use in science. They use that because it's so close to human behavior and learning different things, and testing different things. But if a rat stays in a maze, right, and over time, it's going to learn that maze backward and forward to where it's just like on autopilot. They start just going back and forth, autopilot. There's no stopping. They like, okay, this is where the cheese at. Okay, and then it's just like it's no taking a breath to figure out nothing. No taking a breath to smell the flowers. You just walk past the flowers. Like that building been there all that time. At nighttime, it look different. So it's like that building been there all that time. Because you get so used to the coming and going and the. But when you have to step outside of your comfort zone, sometimes you even go in a circle trying to find something. And that's what the Lord was letting me know was to step outside of my comfort zone. As if I was uh, like that. Of course, I'm not like a puppy, but I'm saying this is what came to my mind after seeing it and after, but like that puppy to get get it to wait. It's so hard to just wait, stop. When I say wait, I mean like I'm like I am waiting. I'm doing what you're saying doing, but I'm doing this and it's not getting me nowhere. But that's the whole point. I'm not waiting if I'm complaining. I'm not waiting if I'm like, okay, how long is this gonna take? Not waiting if I'm getting, said to the cheer while you doing it. Because like I said, I can't be fake. And why is my frequency down? Why am I getting aggravated? Because I feel like this can't be God because God is not a God of confusion and I'm confused. I'm confused. What am I doing? I'm like the ads are showing, the and I know it's just as simple as just simply skip the ad. But in the first place, I have a television screen that I'm doing it on. I'm doing it live, and I'm like, it's not going smoothly. But this is actually supposed to be. Now I'm talking to myself as I'm figuring out stuff as I'm talking, so it sounds a little crazy. But as I'm talking, he's talking to me. But this is supposed to be my training phase. And I'm getting to where I am going, which is my ministry. That is where my ultimate, that's where I'm headed. It's to my ministry. But the nature of people, I've learned the nature of people based on me working with people because I love people, me working in caregiving, me working at a flea market in sales, and in the industry I worked in when I was younger. But I haven't learned them in the moving and starting all over and seeing how the lives come together from scratch in a whole nother place. And same with as far as with minimalizing, bringing everything down to their minimal stuff you can fit in a car, but you only stuff you need to travel with. Compacting their lives to where everything fit, have its own place. Getting the perfect vehicle that can give them exact, some good knowledge and everything. Doing research on different things to fit their personality, then customizing it to fit uh, the long travel, finding what to work on first as far as getting the car prepared for long travel. Things I didn't think of before, how much weight can actually, people don't just take out the I said this yesterday, but people don't just take out um the seats for space. They also take it out because the weight of those chairs, they make it the gas mileage less. They get less gas mileage to the gallon. Also, the different ways they make their bed, how creative they are in making the biggest comfort of their day is going to sleep, is resting. Also, how many ways one vehicle can be set up. based on people's comfort. And that all stands for the different people that I will be speaking to, the different personalities, the different mindsets. And I can't come across all the time as what I've learned, how I've learned to come across. I have to extend my dialect. I have to extend my examples, my analogies, and be able to do it all, compact it all in different phrases where it can fit everybody's insight without being fake, without being myself, without being in the moment. The the I was thinking about the greatest commandment of all is love. And the reason is because I have gotten a personal relationship with God, and so personal that even the silliest thoughts, um, that I thinking back when I'd be like, I can't believe I thought like that he knows, and I feel so comfortable just talking about anything, not asking any questions, and knowing I'm gonna get an answer, knowing I'm not being ignored, knowing that I just have a really good relationship with God. And it's because I love him that I'm willing to, not just because I love him, but before I even had a good relationship with him, I surrendered my life to him because I knew only he could save my life. Because I knew that I was on foreign ground that I didn't know. I knew I was on foreign land that I didn't know, just like these people traveling abroad. And it's just like, I need a friend, but I don't trust nobody. I need you, Lord. I need your friendship. I need your help to before I could really get a relationship of hearing his voice and knowing it was his voice. Before I could, though I've had a relationship all my life, it wasn't like with me contributing back. It was one sided. And so, because of love, we do a lot of things that we would never think of doing. A lot of times would be like, I wish I would let my child talk to me like that. And here we are 20 minutes later. I mean, 20, not minutes, 20 years later. And they cuss you out, spitting in your face, be right here on your face. You don't know if they about to swing on you or what. And you was talking simply about somebody, they child hanging up on them. But because of love, you could get over it because it's your child. You love them. You know that if you could have got away with me, no, you never did like that. But still, but things that you would never consider yourself doing. Now, I wish I would let a man do such. Not only you let them do that, but you let them go so much further. Or I wish my niece would. That's why we never say never. The Lord should make sure He puts you in a situation to show you that never is a word that you're very unfamiliar with when you use it. And but because of love, we're able to look beyond certain things. Because of love, I had the strength to, and I was, you know what I did too? I was like, y'all see when I first started this, I said I did not feel like coming on today. I didn't set my alarm. In fact, I had my alarm set for 6 o'clock to go off daily. Though I was getting up at 5:30 every night, I would be like, "Okay, Siri, set my alarm for 5:30 a.m." But I still had it set for 6 a.m. for Monday through Friday. I was like, and turn off all alarms, put my phone on do not disturb. So I wanted to make sure that if I woke up this morning, it was God waking me up. But not only that, mm, I told y'all I changed my sleeping schedule for this year program. So I'll watch all day after I get offline. I'll start watching what I'm gonna have on the show for the next day. I start my day off getting ready for this. Then after I get offline, now there's summer, I could just start watching it from there. But if it was during school time, then we have to do school. And then after that, my son rests. By the time he's up, I cook breakfast. But beyond that, if I'm watching TV, I've been watching what I'm gonna have on the show. Then I go to sleep, hopefully by 12. But I stayed up last night till about 3 o'clock a.m. That's after I told God if He want me to get up this morning, because I was like, I don't feel like it. I was like, if you want me to get up in the morning, then just wake me up in the morning. So I did all that. And what happens? I heard a knock on my door, on this door. When a knock on this door, ain't nobody but my son. So I heard a knock on my door. I'm like, fix my gown on myself. Come in, come in. Then I dragged myself out the bed. I'm like, oh, okay, 6:30. That's y'all see. I ain't got all I got on no makeup. All I got on is little eyeliner right there. I'm all right here. That's it. Lip gloss. And as y'all see, I'm not in my everyday peppy mood because I didn't feel like it. But because of love and because I love the Lord, I love our relationship. I don't want to disappoint Him. I don't want to go against what I've said just because I'm, not in my chipper. Because love is there. I mean, when you love somebody, no matter what, if y'all in the middle of an argument, but the only way they're gonna eat is if you feed them. You go see past the argument, go ahead and feed them. You can stay upset or whatever. You're gonna go ahead and feed them, and it's gonna be as good as it usually would be. You just look past certain things. And if it's raining outside, you're still gonna, get the umbrella for them. You're still gonna do the things that you're supposed to do. You just got attitude. And that's what I think, that love is greater than all the commandments, because if you love somebody, now, if you're in a toxic love, then they might be the only person that can get to you so much that they are the only person that you ever want to slap. You're like, oh, he made me so mad, or she made me so mad. But once you have peace, and I like to believe that if I was in a relationship, if I was in a relationship, it would not be toxic. It would be more beautiful than my life, because it would only be icing on the cake. I wouldn't want no nonsense in my life. So I already know that. But if you're in a relationship, then you already know that it's gonna be in a non-toxic relationship. That for love, it's like you Those butterflies in your stomach make you want to get up and do something special. I'm gonna put cinnamon on the French toast. I'm gonna do, love makes you go further. And if you love somebody, you're not gonna want, if you love your neighbors, you're not gonna want to lie on them. I love my neighbors. When we went through stuff together. Me and my neighbors went through a storm together. We was out of power together. We don't talk all the time as far as, we don't be on the phone, nothing like that. But, you know, we say hi, bye, whatever. But we know if it goes down, we need this community together. You can knock on my door. If I got it, you got it. And vice versa. Look, I ain't got no batteries. But I mean, you ain't got no batteries. I got batteries, but I ain't got no car charge money. I can charge it there. Look, I got sugar. Look, you got ice. We can switch that. I don't got no. I got cash on me. Uh, um, I have cash. You don't have no cash. You only have credit. Everything down. Yeah, you can borrow this. In fact, I don't borrow this. I'll just buy this from you. You have two power packs. I'll just buy one of your. We can work with each other because we in this community together, and they're the first people that you want to look out for. Well, of course, your family is the first people you want to look out for. If you like me and my mom when we was, she was looking out for me. I looked out for her too, in a whole lot of situations too. But in any case, love, it covers a multitude of sin because it's like if you love somebody, you're not going to covet them, you're not going to want their man, or take their wife or their husband, or even flirt with them, or even look at them in that way. You're not going to be trying to damage their property. You're going to look out for their property. You're not going to be trying to murk somebody. See, that's what I'm saying, talking to a larger audience. You're not going to be trying to unalive somebody. You ain't going to be. So, I mean, the closer that you get to God, they wouldn't have even had to make these commandments because it wouldn't be in your heart to do any of those things. You ain't going to want to take nothing that's not yours, that you know you didn't pay for, and hurt that small business, or hurt somebody that trusted you to get that close to them. You're not going to want to disrespect your parents at all, or hurt them in any kind of way. You're not going to want them to either. And so love, it covers all of that. And because of love, his love, the same love that God had when he gave his only begotten son for us, that same agape love is the same love that he wants us to show his people, each other. And so, in the reaching out to myself, in the meeting my new self in the new world, it also um, it also makes me feel the need to love what he loves, you. I love him enough to love what he loves. That's why when I say I love you, people, if they hear you say you hate them, they'll be fast to believe that. But if you say you love them, be like, you don't even know me. But I love you because with the love of Christ. I love you. I love my. That don't mean that I like everybody. In fact, there's some people I don't even love. Still, God is really having to really, really restore my soul. Um, but there's some people that I asked him to create me a new heart because I haven't come to love people that there's some people that has made me their enemy, But then there are some people that I'm their enemy too. We are equally enemies. And not equally because they have a hatred. I don't hate them. I just don't love them. And when I say I'm their enemy, I mean that I don't see them with the love of God yet. I don't see them as God's children. I see them as the devil's children. But that's not my call to make. So that's why I say I'm equally. Um, but in any case, but I do have the utmost love and respect for all of all of everyone that has not, really completely went out their way to hurt me and my child completely, which has only been like two people in the life. But I'm still even supposed to be loving them, and I'm still God's still creating in me a new heart because I'm not supposed to carry that. That's a great sin for me to even carry that. I don't want to get bitter with that either. So I'm praying to be delivered from that. But in the meantime, that's what I have come to is to be patient and of good cheer. It's one thing to be like, all right, I'm going to be patient. But if you're doing it and you're all salty about doing it, like I was today, really being in my own self, instead of being in my spirit man, being in my human man, this flesh is just oh dirt. But our spirit man is called to a higher call. And as I was just getting ready to apologize, the Lord told me not to apologize. And I'm not wrong for having days that I'm not chipper. It's not meant for us to be chipper all the time. It's better to be real than anything. To be real with our emotions so they don't come out the wrong way at the wrong time. It's okay to not be in a good mood all the time. Like I was saying yesterday, but I erased it because as soon as I touched my mic, it went like out. So I'm like talking, which I'm glad I didn't talk long, only about 15 minutes, because the other ones had messed up yesterday with the ads, but I got the ads taken care of. Thank God. Everything is fine with that, and my bank card and everything has been delivered, which is wound up being good because I got me a new bank card and it's really cute. And I needed to upgrade anyway. I've had that bank card for a few years, so I don't know when else I would have upgraded if I didn't now. So everything did work out for my good. And sometimes I feel so silly because God is just so funny. And I feel real silly because it's just like y'all just don't know how discouraged I was. And I was pouting and crying and pouting and really going through it. And to start talking and then just, ain't nobody talking back to me and then just start laughing and stuff because I know that the Holy Spirit is moving and I know that He's moving on my behalf too. It's not just to benefit people out there. He loves me. And He cares about us all. It's not just for any one person. It's anytime he does anything, it's for everybody involved. And how resistant I was to even come on and show myself in a vulnerable state, because what I'm saying is evidently not true. That I'm not worried about what people have to say. That I'm not into people pleasing as far as I know, but I guess I am worried about what people have to say if I don't want to come on if I'm not in a really good mood. But I really believe that it's because I don't want to hinder anyone else's frequency, because I don't I don't want to drag anybody, because I know when my frequency is down, you can feel it. It you can really feel it. I had a the bug guy. He comes here to exterminate once a month, and I stepped on a nail. I got out of bed and I stepped on a nail. And by the time I got to the door, I'm like limping to the door. I already have neuropathy, but I was upset. And I didn't even open the door. I was like, who is it? I don't know. He liked me. He always liked me so much. He just loved me. We always talk. I offer him water. I'm always so nice to him. And it upset his whole month. When he came to the door this time, I was like, first of all, I was like, who is it? He's like, such, you know, pest control. So I opened the door and I still either had it in my foot or seeing if it. So I'm looking back to my room. I didn't say nothing to him. I just let him go ahead and do his thing. And he didn't even take 5 minutes. He was like, I locked the door behind me. Before I knew it, he was gone. And I was like, later that night, I was like, oh my God. I yelled at I was like, well, I'm sure he deal with that all the time. Somebody somewhere have an off day sometime. And all the time I've been here, all the time I've been knowing him, I've never had an off day. I know he's had that before. So this time when he came to the door, he was like, he looked just so sad. He's like, he's pest control. Usually he'd be like, pest control, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good, and you? Oh, you looking good. He'd be all happy. It's like, when I went to the door, I was like, who is it? And I ain't say me. I was like, who is it? And he was like, pest control. And I opened the door. He was like, was looking so sad. I was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, it's okay. And when I held him close, I could feel his body just limp. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I stepped on a nail. He's like, you did? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh man, I know how that is. I'm like, come here, Kira, come here. I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, it happened, man. I just try to be a good Christian. I'm sorry. He's like, it's okay. I'm like, come here. You want some water? Are you okay? Do you want a banana or anything? I'll take some water. I'm gonna give you the best water I have. So I got some cold water for him and bottled water first. And I gave him some water. So he stood there. We talked while he was standing there. I was like, my son is resting, but everything else is open. I'm like, my bathroom's a little messed up. Oh, don't worry about it. You ain't got to do it. Everything ain't got to be on you. You already do everything already. He was in a much better mood. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, it threw me off a little bit. I didn't know what was going on. I thought about it. Should I do something? What happened? I'm like, no, I'm just so sorry. I stepped on nail. I was resting. When I got up and I was heading in there, it must have came out something, my ring light or something. So sorry. But when you have a low frequency, when I have a low frequency, just like when I'm in a good mood, you know, I'm a healer. I'm a healer. And just when I'm in a good mood too, it's sort of infectious, especially in person, you know. And so anyway, that's why I didn't want to come on. I feel so much better and I'm like, Silly me, I went through all that stuff for nothing. But it really wasn't for nothing because that's how I felt. Sure, it'll go off in a minute. I'm gonna read this here thing one more time because now I got it. Okay, I'm gonna read it one more time, and you can tell I don't have no makeup on. I don't wear face makeup. I just have usually wear it on my eyes, but my eyes are still pretty good. So you should have dark circles. But here we go. I feel so much better. Glad I came on. Deliver me not over into the will of mine enemies. The will of my enemies. I just got that too. Which would be, what would be their will? The biggest jealousy that this lady was saying was, did you know this is something that I never thought of? Because I'm like, why would anybody be jealous of me? Everybody have more than me. But she was saying that did you know that the biggest jealousy of people is survival jealousy? Like, what is survival jealousy? And survival jealousy, that's why I was able to say that this morning for me being able to survive something they did against me. I didn't even know what they did against me, and then them be upset with me because of it, because I heard her say it. And she was like, just what I just said. And somebody who is able to survive, a survivor, is more aggravating to people who would like like better to see you down. People who like better when you are the borrower or the beggar or the person who's always in need. And so someone who God delivers from that provokes a lot of hatred and jealousy because it's a show, it's a sign of one favor. It's another also sign of a different kind of strength that's not, it's an ability that's not in everybody. Survival skills aren't in everybody, especially when you don't just survive but you thrive. Not only are you not borrowing but you're, or the beggar, but you're also the loner, the giver, the one that's giving out instead of trying, the one, instead of having your hand out. I'm not just talking about monetarily, but also them doing different things for you. Like I had at one time, my mother was doing my shopping for me. One time, she was doing everything for me. Basically, I just had her doing it because she had a car. But when things got a little sticky, and and she sort of felt like I needed her to do it because I was paying her to do it, and she was benefiting from doing it. But it got a little sticky to where she felt like, made me feel like I need her, she don't need me. Then I was like, I'm gonna start doing my own shopping. And actually, I thrive in doing my own shopping because I have so much more stuff because I'm not trying to pay her. Not that she was asking, but I can't stand nobody doing nothing for me with it because I feel like I'm inconveniencing them. So I want to give them her gas money. I want to split this with her. I want to get the deal she getting, not because I want it, but because she's like, this is on sale for such such such. Do you want it? And I'll just get it because she getting it because she asked me. But not that I'm taking for granted that she did, because she helped me. Because it wasn't always a time where I was in an area that I could be delivered to. And I was staying downtown. Walmart would not come downtown. Sam's Club would not come downtown. So I'm very grateful that she did shop for me. It's just that when you start feeling like someone might feel that they're doing so much for you, that they feel like they can, they feel like, how if you put yourself in a child's position, you look like a child. So whatever position you put yourself in, that's how you'll be treated. So I put myself in a codependent situation. And so I was treated like an extra dependent. So that's how I'll say it. That's how it was. I put myself in a position that I was treated like the position I put myself in. So when I took myself out of that position, not that she felt like that, but I'm just saying someone else might have based on what this lady was saying. But she's not the kind of person who's a jealous spirit or nothing like that. She's a thriver and all that in her own self, in her own right. So, but I'm saying how other people might be based on what the lady was saying, because I never knew that was a thing either. If some people will feel a jealousy or a hatred towards you for being a survivor. That's new to me because I thought in order to be a survivor, that must means that you was like at the bottom, and that's what people look down on. So to overcome certain things, I really felt like that's something people should be proud of, and maybe it was something else that they was bothered by about me. I didn't know that was even a thing either, but I'm learning a lot. It sounds like that could be the only thing. I'm like, 'cause I can't think of nothing else. But that's going from protect, deliver me not over to the will of my enemies. For false witnesses are risen up, liars risen up against me. That's true. They did. They did. And such as breath out cruelty mean stuff to me and said mean stuff to me too. They did do that. And in my comment section, they was mean to me. That I'm over that now. I don't care now. I will stop saying I don't care about stuff because God always found a way to put you in a position to be like, okay, maybe I do care a little bit. I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. If I had not seen God and all of this cruel, mean people, more mean people than nice people, more people who are hateful, who act like they nice than it is really people that's actually nice and not acting. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say on the Lord. There's no way the Bible, because the Bible is a it's alive. It's a living word. It's no way men. I mean, I know men wrote it, but it was written through the Holy Spirit moving because there's so many things unlocked in your heart and in your mind when you read the Bible each time. It could be the same verse. It's no way these words could come just from a human mind all these decades ago for every scenario in your life. Um, these are like actually Psalms of David, the king. He was a very wise man, and they found the perfect things to put in, guided by the Holy Spirit. And so that wraps up my time. And I really appreciate you guys joining me for who did join me. Um, and I really enjoyed myself too. I feel much better. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. Happy Hump Day. Thank you guys for all of your subscriptions. Please like and hype the video. And I'll see you tomorrow if the Lord says the same. Peace.